Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to HotMakes right here on HotMakes. I'm Nerdy J. This is the Pooch. How you doing, Pooch?
I'm fantastic, Nerdy J. How was your 4th?
It was great. We hung out. It was super hot. It's been super hot here, like in the 90s the last 3-4 days. And it is that's okay, but it's very humid as well. So you go outside and you feel like you're swimming. But
sweaty.
It was
sweaty.
It was a great time. Fireworks last night were all over the place, and I'm just lucky the little guy sleeps good, and I had a little music on in his room. But other than that, how was your 4th?
It was good, man. We went we went out of town, just got back this afternoon. Saw an amazing fireworks show. It was in Sonoma, California. It was 45 minutes long, which, dare I say, I like fireworks, but it was probably too long. It was a long show. But it was awesome. It was awesome, and I'm glad we did it. And we had a lot of fun, and the kids had a lot of fun. We rented a water slide and tons of pool time. Nice. And so, good all around. Barbecue.
Sounds like a lot of fun. Yeah.
Burgers, dogs.
We got the little guy yesterday morning to his first parade, and that was really fun with the fire trucks and stuff. His eyes were like this big, It was a lot of fun. So that was good too.
Awesome. That's great.
Yeah, I was laughing. I set up Nightbot now for the HotMakes channel, and it yelled at me for spamming, and I'm like, what? So I saw that Geary
Don't spam your own channel.
Yeah, my bad. Sorry. I just set up Nightbot tonight, and I didn't realize all those settings were turned on. So sorry, people got timed out first.
Yeah, no,
Geary,
you're good.
Sounding so human today.
Yeah, I was just gonna say we installed a human modulator on Geary. So he sounds human now, so that's good.
Fantastic.
Some of the feedback we got was we wish he was more human. So
more human than human.
More human than him. So we have an awesome show tonight, Pooch.
I'm excited.
I am super pumped. Our guest tonight has been seen wearing a backpack 3D printer. He's been seen at BattleBots events
in robot combat situations.
We can say that. Sure. The backpack printer. He's got electronics, and he's just an all-around awesome dude. And I'm super pumped that Thangs could sponsor the show tonight. And another cool thing we have is a $50 Amazon gift card. Thanks so much, Thangs. So we'll give that away at the end of the show as well. Thank you again. Thanks for sponsoring the show.
And how do people enter if they want to win tonight, Jim?
The link in the description of the video or in the chat. Nightbot is actually doing something right, and that's putting the giveaway link in the chat. So click on that. Make sure you enter. I will make sure to watch the spreadsheet towards the end of the show. We'll get the wheel up, and we will roll for a $50 Amazon.
Give it a little spinny for a winnie.
I got 4 printers going on. I'm printing with scented filament for Arion.
How is that?
See how that goes.
Spoiler
alert.
The aromas in your room right now.
Well, the air conditioning's on, so it's kind of like blowing everything. But you could definitely smell it while it's printing, and it doesn't smell bad. It smells like kind of like what it says it's supposed to smell like.
Okay.
And spoiler alert, when they're cold, like this cherry mini gym that I printed looks like this right here. I mean, the filament itself is printing very nicely. This was on the CNC Romax 4, or let me think about that. Yeah, the V4 printed so good. Really nice crotch there. A little bit of stringy, but
how does it smell?
Well, it smells like PLA.
It just smells like PLA. So when it's printing, it smells like something.
With a hint of cherry. So I won't spoil it, but we'll say it does have a smell to it. Just not what I was expecting, like this. Whoa, you know what I mean?
Well, good on you, man. And you said you have 4 going, so does that mean you have 4 different scents intermingling?
Yeah. So I did the 4 fruit flavors earlier. Now I have 4 flower flavors going on, or scents going on. We have 2 here and then 2 below me. And again, with the air conditioning on, I can't really smell anything. So
okay, so it's not like a flower shop in there right now.
Stay tuned. I pretty sure we'll have a video of that coming out. We'll see what happens. So, and Sarah,
let us know in the chat if you want scented filament in your life. I want to hear about it.
Yeah, let us know. I have a feeling.
I'm a little skeptical.
I have a feeling. Spoiler alert: there's no video out on this yet, but I think it's great filament. But the scent part is a little.
It's not necessary, but no. I could do a mini rant on this the same way I do like Febreze. It's the same thing I feel about Febreze. It's like Febreze only ever makes it like smell like whatever the terrible smell is plus Febreze, which is not better. I've said it before. I'll say it again.
You want to do a quick mini rant? We got the
mini rants all throughout. My whole life.
The mini rant bumper.
Mini rant, go!
Don't like it. Don't want smells on my filament. The end.
I have no idea. I just hit the bumper. I didn't even let Gary do it. I was just like, I'm doing it. So we got. I totally went off track on scented filaments. Ariane, if you're watching this, we'll talk before I do a video. I know you wondered how it went, and after tonight, I'll be able to tell you. There is a Kickstarter going on right now with that, and check it out if you want.
They're kickstarting the scented filament.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
okay.
I don't know. We'll see what happens. This might be my first not hot of the year. We'll see. See.
You know, Mom always said, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything.
That's right. Thanks. Thank you so much again for your sponsorship. I think we should bring our guest in right away. What do you think?
Bring him in.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Mitch, how are you?
Mitch Cerroni. Is it
threw that
is it Cerroni? Like my Cerroni?
It's Italian. It's
rice Cerroni? Like that. It's pronounced the same way.
That was my aunt's nickname in military, so
I know we're not original here, but I just want to make sure I have the pronunciation.
I've heard them all. Mitch Pepperoni is my favorite so far.
Pepperoni's good. Hey, with a name like Puccinelli, you hear it all too. So I completely feel.
Yeah, but I can't like call myself sir. Like CER.
Yeah,
Pooch works. I don't know.
You could. I don't know if anybody did.
What are you drinking, Mitch? I'm drinking this LaCroix or whatever you call it. This some sort of water I found. I liked it.
I have a from the Scarborough Festival. There's this lady that makes wooden cups, and I'm just drinking water. But I could be drinking something else.
Out of a wooden cup.
Water's great.
Yep. Yeah, no, these are awesome. What's cool is everybody brings them to the Scarborough Festival, the Renaissance Fair, and they just carry around these wooden cups, and then you go to the vendor and get beer filled up in them and stuff. So much fun.
Well, let us know in the chat what you're drinking as well. We kind of do that. Pooch, do you have anything today? Is it tea? Is it water? Coffee?
Just coffee.
Oh, black. Wait, is that the shaken brown sugar oat milk?
Nope. This is home brewed pot of black coffee is what I went with today.
Folgers or
not Folgers? Come on, Mitch. You know what's a funny story? My dad drank Folgers growing up, like
I still
nonstop in that giant tin. He kept it in the fridge, and it was like I remember he let me taste it as a kid. I'm like, this stuff is terrible. And so it's like growing up, you just assume that, and he had his Coors beer. So it's like everything I ever experienced of like these things as in youth was not really what life was like. No. It took me a while to understand there were better coffees, better beers out there. But anyway,
I love it. No. Well, Mitch, welcome to the show. Real quick, for anybody who doesn't know who Mitch is, who are you? What do you do, and maybe where we can find you?
Tell us.
I was on this little show called BattleBots for like last season, and with a team Sub-Zero. We're a pneumatic flipper robot. Team captain's Logan Davis. I've been friends with him and the rest of the team for quite a while, and so they brought me on board, and I did all the electrical work and helped with some of the fabrication, CNC fabrication stuff. The robot, along with assembly and repair.
Wow.
I'm actually currently working on a Raspberry Pi Pico controller that hooks up a FreeSky transmitter over a digital signal, S-Bus, to a Raspberry Pi Pico, and then from the Raspberry Pi Pico, that will actually control our weapon, so we can have more accurate timing on our solenoids, so we can fire our solenoids faster. And I just had a friend of mine help me build a PCB on KiCad, and then JLC PCB. I have a couple of them ordered, and they should be here in a couple of days. So my first custom microcontroller project is going to go in the BattleBot.
Nice. And can you give us some quick stats on Sub-Zero, weight, armament, like what for people who haven't seen BattleBots, like tell them what that is and how big your team was and all that.
So all the robots have to be 500 pounds unless you have a fully articulated walker like Chomp this year. But most of them are 250 pounds. There is no like size limit as far as like you have to be able to get in the battle box. So Huge and Mammoth were one of the biggest robots, but they did that because they used really lightweight materials and they were just bulky. We're probably one of the medium-sized robots because we have to have pneumatics. So the air tanks are Ninja paintball bottles as our main air reservoir, and then we also have the drive systems, the battery. It's all remote control. Some robots have telematics. Some of them actually have some automation in them, but they're mostly remote control. They use standard, 2.4 gigahertz spectrum radios. So that's why what I'm doing is I'm actually adding a little bit more automation by using a standard RC transmitter or receiver, and then adding some automation on board so that we can have some control over our robot. Because when you're driving, it's everything's going on and you're kind of hyper focused on just driving. You want some help. You want some help like timing and navigation and stuff like that. So there's a little bit more to BattleBots than you think. The big thing is that you have to build your robots. A lot of robots use really thick like AR 500 armor plate steel, and the weapons can hit like 200, 300 mile an hour, 50-pound spinning drums, and so it's dangerous enough that the entire arena is 1.25 inch thick polycarbonate Lexan.
Wow.
And so, they do every safety precaution, including like all your robots have to pass a safety inspection, including fail safe. So your transmitter, if you lose signal to your transmitter, the receiver should automatically go to the default state, or else your robot will just be spinning for hours. It's like happen once. Yeah.
There has to be that's effectively its kill switch. So if you lose signal, it just stops.
You do have to have a physical kill switch as well. That's easily accessible. But most of the robots,
you're going to go in the ring with it to hit the kill switch?
No, nobody. What they'll do is like one robot last year used a contactor, and the contactor fused shut, and so this weapon was spinning for 40 minutes. So they had to halt production and wait for that robot to spin down all 40 minutes before they could even start. Yeah.
Wow.
So here's a question. You think they would be upset if I brought a clip in? Just a quick one.
Sure, go for it. Yeah.
All right. I just want to ask you first, right? So this is the robot you're talking about, right?
Yes. Oh, this one. This is so good. Yes.
All right. So this is what BattleBots is, everybody. If you haven't seen this yet, I don't know what's happening.
Oh, this is the Bounty Hunters. Oh, yeah. If you get a chance to go on like Discovery Plus, our Bounty Hunter episodes are really good.
Yeah. All right. So narrate for us what's happening here, Mitch.
This is too boring for me.
So Malice, we've been friends with the Malice team for a while. Bunny, and the three Davids. There's actually three Davids on the team, but they're all really great robot builders in their own stuff.
Here you go.
They have a team.
Oh, all right. Let's go back a little bit.
Don't show the bad parts. Skip to the good parts. So we were basically getting ripped apart because they have a really effective drum spinner, but as you can see, they're not really stable. So we were just trying to like hold on as much as we could.
Oof!
All the armor plate. Yeah, right there. Oh yeah, Brian was like, "Don't hit him!" And like he was so close. The slow mo. I don't know if they're gonna show it, but Spitfire is our flame throwing drone, piloted by Logan's father, Brady, and he actually he was so close that we think that what happened is when it got like gyroscopically unstable, the drone dove in and actually hit it off its axis, and Malice was stuck on its back. And they were aware of that issue.
There's the drone.
Boom, like
there
that.
We go. See, the drone was just enough force to throw off their axis, and then they got back on their back.
So who are we seeing? Who are we seeing?
So the one saying stop. That's Brian. He's actually he's an engineer. He did a lot of the engineering work on this. And then Logan is the team captain and driver.
So does that mean one person is always the driver? Is there like a backup driver?
There's sometimes they split the transmitters so that they have one person on a weapon and one.
Hey,
person.
there you are.
Yeah. So Brady and I.
There he is.
Yeah, me and Brady were actually controlling the drone. So okay. I was just turning the fire on and off, and Brady is trying to fly. Yeah, so they had like a doorstop essentially, or some kind of something on the back of it that was supposed to poke out to prevent it from being off center. And I think it would have helped them, but I think they changed their ESC, their speed controller, so that it wasn't able to like accelerate enough to get off its axis. But yeah, we barely made it. Like,
wow, you took some damage there.
Yeah,
Look
so
at
that front plow is all AR 500 plate steel. The weapon arm is all AR 400, and then all the plates that are attached to the AR are titanium, and those are 1/8-inch titanium plates.
Wow. Now tell us about the machining process for that, because that's not it's not standard stuff to just run through.
Oh, there's Hypershock. Yeah, they're a cool team too. And yeah, so that's Bunny, and then the two Davids on the team. So SendCut Send is one of our sponsors here somewhere. SendCut Send, you basically send them a DXF file of whatever you want, and pick the material, and they'll laser cut it for you in like a couple days. It's a pretty awesome thing. Okay. So basically, in Inventor or SolidWorks, we've kind of used both, but our CAD designer Chris, he basically made the whole robot down to the bolt and nut, like in all the assemblies, and then generated the plates that we needed. So all the armor plate was held on to our frame with weld nuts. So we welded weld nuts in there, and then we have 5/16 bolts holding everything, grade 8, bolts, and those grade 8 bolts will just shear in the under impact. So everything you think is like, oh, that's good enough for a race car. You're like, well, no, you got to build it like a tank. You got to have like, 3/4-inch bolts, and then everything has to be like welded all the way through front and back. It was enough that our welded inserts into our chassis would actually just rip right out of the chassis, out of the tubing. Wow. So we use steel tubing. We're one of the few that actually use steel tubing still. Instead of just plate steel. Most people just do plate steel, and then they kind of box their frames, and they weld them all solid, or they use really large bolts or shoulder bolts to hold them on. But yeah, we're one of the, because we're kind of we have to kind of have a lot of internal volume to have all our pneumatics inside of it. So it's kind of a struggle to find how more compact we can make the robot, but still make it cost, weight effective, and also have pneumatics involved. So
gotcha.
It's kind of all a balance. It's like, how much armor do you want? How fast do you want to be able to drive? Like, you gotta pick what you want and then engineer it. Awesome. So
now, did you machine any of the stuff yourself, or did you?
The only thing I was able to do effectively was I made we have a CNC router at the Dallas Makerspace, and I was able to make the we out of MDF we made the weld jigs, so you could put the tubes down into this MDF jig, and he could weld them square, so we can make sure that all our parts are square to each other using a wooden jig. And then inside the BattleBot is all the pneumatic components. The bottles have these UHMW bottle brackets, so you can take the bottle out and put it in and then bolt it down. Those are made out of they're actually made out of the scrap from Huge from last year, and I actually nested a bunch of the parts into the scrap that we got from last year, and I was able to machine those parts out and make bottle brackets with the router. So and then a lot of the other machine parts, I think we use Xometry. to do more precision machining. But I'm hoping eventually I can get to the point where I can machine a lot of the parts out of aluminum.
Right, that'd be slick, right?
Yeah.
I know you're working on a machine in your apartment, right?
It's called the Print and See. It's not done yet, but it's gonna somewhere over here. It's gonna be in my apartment, so I have stuff. Oh, thank you, my Dr. Pepper delivery.
Look at that, refreshments on delivery.
What is this?
I know.
Dr. Pepper delivery.
I don't even need a robot to deliver it for me.
Don't let the fame go to your head, Mitch. I mean, come on.
Oh yeah, okay. That's my mom. Anyway, but I'm building a CNC machine in my I'm building a CNC machine in my apartment, and so I'm trying to get rid of it's gonna be noisy, so I'm putting sound deadening up. I'm building a full enclosure. Stuff like the shop vac's gonna be really noisy. Chips are gonna be an issue, so the enclosure I'm hoping will avoid a lot of the chips. And then the other issue I have is power. I got to run an extension cord to get enough power to run the machine as well, because it's going to be powerful enough to machine steel and aluminum. It's a lot like Ivan Miranda's machine that he built from scratch, which is pretty awesome. If you haven't checked that out,
that this week.
Yeah,
the
fact that you can machine like aluminum and steel just like out of basically parts you can get from AliExpress is just blows my mind.
That's next level, right? I love it.
So that's my next project, but that's going to be a long-term project.
Sure.
So let's shift gears a hair. So some of us might know you from wearing a printer on your back in a backpack, or essentially as a backpack. Can we talk a little bit about that? What the printer was? It was a Delta, like this one right here, except for the small version, right?
Yeah, that's a V4, right?
Yep, that's a V4.
Yeah, that's a cool kit. That's a pretty cool kit. Or
it was fun.
Yeah. Complete build. I'm not sure what they do anymore, but yeah.
When I got this one, it was a full kit. So I put it together.
Yeah. And I got the Artemis. When it was a kit, basically, or like a semi, almost ready to run kit, and that's been my workhorse printer. I've been using that for I think almost 2017. Yeah, 4 years. Yeah, 4 years now.
What do you put on your back? Because it's not an Artemis.
Oh, that was also a CNC design. That was the H2, which was actually like a hacker kit, is what they sold it as, and it used laser cut melamine plywood parts, and 713 Matt from 713 Maker. He actually made he took all the designs for the laser cut parts and machined them out of aluminum. So the backpack printer was actually fully machined aluminum parts with extrusions, and on top of that, the frame was actually made. The frame, I took the original, all the SolidWorks files are on the GitHub for CNC, and so you can replicate his design. So I took those as reference, and then designed the frame for the backpack printer to be water jet cut, because I worked at a CNC. I was a technician for a CNC company, and I was able to use their water jet, which was super awesome. I totally would do that again. Now I would just use Send Cut Send, because they could just laser cut it for me. But water jet cutting. So the whole frame was water jet cut 10 gauge steel, and then I had a friend of mine weld it at a 90-degree angle, and so it was kind of like a shelf. And then I took an Amazon Basics backpack, and it took the straps from that and designed it into the steel frame. So it's pretty similar to an Alice backpack frame that you use like a military backpack. Kind of like how the Ghostbusters, the proton packs work. Yeah, it's similar to how the proton packs work, where they have a frame attached to
in the private chat too. There's another photo that I sent.
Yeah.
Got it.
So the problem is I didn't take a lot of pictures of myself in this thing. I only have one picture of me, and I clipped out Adrian Bauer. He's he's kind of cool.
just
the father of prep rap, but whatever.
And now you're taking it mobile. So tell us about how what it took to power that thing, and then did you do any? Because it sounds like you did some enhancements, obviously, to increase the stiffness. Obviously, if you went to machining and water jetting, but obviously, lightweighting would be kind of more of a critical thing if you're going to be really carrying this thing around, long term.
Yeah.
I know it was kind of a gimmick, obviously.
It is. And so it wasn't bad because I got an actual hiking backpack, shoulder strap and waist belt. It's really up to the waist belt because what I found out, Patrick, hey, that's my friend Patrick. He helped me. Like I was rushing last minute to make it work for Murph, and I was like, hey, go paint this. And then
needs a paint job.
Yeah, basically, he did a good job. Anyway, so it's powered by those like car jumper packs you'd store in your trunk if you need to like jumpstart your car, which is basically 618 650s done in series and parallel. So I was getting 12 volts out of that. But the problem is once you drain the batteries below their cell voltage, like it basically will brown out the controller board. And so I still haven't figured that one out, but I think in the future what I'm going to have to do is just make my own 18650 packs with my own BMS battery management system. And I'm thinking that the battery management system will just trigger the Duet to tell the Duet, hey, go in the power recovery mode. I think that's what I'm going to have to do. There is a way to get the power recovery mode triggered by the voltage of the Duet detects the system voltage. And I think I could do that too. But this was just last minute. Like it was on Amazon. It was $50. I could buy a battery pack that could be just plugged into the wall. I didn't have to have a special charge or anything. The first generation was using the CME CNC Eris, ERIS, and that was the one that I think everybody knew from 2018 when I built it for Irf and Murph. That was done with a plywood frame that I actually CNC cut on the Makerspace router, and that was nice because it was like plywood's so easy to work with compared to metal. Like I was just able to throw it together in like an hour. And of course, it's all about the design.
Something that whipped up.
Yeah, just something that whipped up. Yeah.
So what kind of print time? What kind of print time are you talking on this bad boy? So I mean, I think I saw it printing a benchy maybe, but
yeah. So I never really figured that out. It was roughly 2 hours. I could get about 2 hours out of it. The H2 was significantly more power hungry because I was using the Mosquito hot end with the 50-watt heater cartridge at 12 volts, and it doesn't have. Neither one of them have a heated bed, which is fine. I've been using Gecko-Tech's cold platforms material, and that's been really good. And that's lasted a long time. I'm still using it. I'm actually using the backpack printer at work to do all my prototype testing. It just sits on my desk now. It's not even a backpack.
Oh, I was gonna say he just walks around while he's working. Hey, guy, hang on.
But I never took it off the backpack frame. It's still in the backpack frame. I put rubber feet on it because I knew that I would just be putting it down all the time. So now it's just on my desk. And if you see from the picture too, also I have the Duet panel do. As like a handheld pendant so I could see what I'm doing. Because that was a problem from last time. I used the Octoprint on the Pi Zero, and I would have problems with the Wi-Fi hotspot in the convention halls. So I could never like stop my print in time. So now I have an actual direct controller, screen controller on it. That was a really good, useful thing.
Awesome. I was talking to a guy in Trent in our chat here. He's a local guy, and we were over there at his house a couple days ago celebrating the 4th and hanging out with people, which is amazing to hang out with people, by the way. We're sick of being stuck in the houses. But he's working on a battery pack or something like that to take one of his printers to like these shows that they go to, so he can print stuff at the shows. But they don't have power a lot of times. So I told him in the chat like he should hook up with you.
That'd be awesome.
Already. And it's just powering the Prusa. So
what I've considered doing is what I really would like is a plug and play like UPS style setup. Basically, just where you could plug it in to the docking, like kind of dock it at your booth table and plug it in, and then charge the batteries while you continue to print. Unplug it; it's continuing off the battery, which means I'd have to have some kind of like MOSFET like switching system that could detect the voltage inputs and stuff. I think that's about it. And then you need an onboard lithium charger, which is kind of complicated. Like there's a lot to this. It has to be a custom PCB.
Pretty soon, it's a separate backpack. And
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm gonna have somebody. I need somebody else to just carry around the batteries, and then we joked about having the rep box. Somebody else would carry a rep box with it, and then all the filament, all the Bowden tubes. I'd have to walk in tandem with somebody else. All the Bowden tubes would go over there. Somebody else would have a pallet.
Yeah, you guys look like a Chinese dragon.
Toy. Yeah,
you know, like just marching along, and then poops
that would be awesome.
Poops out prints as you go.
I mean, at that point,
would be awesome.
It'd be more fun to have a remote control vehicle that had a printer on it, because then it's easier to walk around the convention. You can just walk around with batteries, and
now that's a fun idea.
Is get the CR30.
Yeah,
throw it on there, and it'll just drop while you're walking around. It'll just drop prints off behind you, and you'll never even know. It'll just
I think that's that thing where like walking on Legos, how that's painful. Like imagine like stepping on the bench accidentally.
It's just dropping benches off the back.
Yeah,
that's awesome. So
no, I mean the CR30 is pretty beefy. It'd be heavy.
It'd be heavy. It's a tank. But you could probably use Pooch's or Repcord's mounting kit, and right to a pack. We need to see it. Pooch, you got to make that happen now. We need to see it.
I really like the idea of having it crawl along. It'd be very low speed. Obviously, it's pretty torquey as heck, but it would just be kind of like creeping along.
Just using a conveyor belt
or like actually use its conveyor for drive.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Or you could bolt tank treads to the side of it, so it would be treads on.
Yeah. I found that basically everything at the convention that can happen will happen. Just like any cosplayer will tell you, you basically have to have enough tools to rebuild the whole thing when you go there. So it's like cosplay. Any you've been to enough conventions to know that like anything that can go wrong will go wrong. So like 3D printers are definitely pretty delicate for moving. I mean, I had to fly with mine, so I had to like put it on check-in luggage. It could have been in pieces by the time it was done. So
oh man, I would have set it like in the seat in front of me.
No. Yeah, I wish I could have brought it on the plane.
You're gonna keep it. It's gonna be a lap child. That sounds real fun.
I'm gonna have to get a second plane ticket for it, probably.
Awesome. Well, we talked a little bit about the belt printer and extensively about BattleBots, which I'm super pumped about. I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch a bunch of those episodes now because, I've known who you are since Murph 2019. When my first Murph was, and then I follow the printing side of things. But to be honest, until a couple weeks ago or whatever, when we booked you like a month ago, I was like, BattleBot? He's on BattleBots? I need to look this up.
You didn't even know? That's awesome.
No, I had no idea, and that's how bad I am at following people on Twitter. But but what's so cool about that is that I love watching those, and my wife loves to see them too. And we always talked about if they're anywhere near any of those things, we'd love to go see that in person. That'd be so much fun.
Yeah, Discovery hasn't announced anything yet, but you should definitely look around. I'll let you know if anything comes up. COVID was definitely a big one for BattleBots, and the fact that it even happened is pretty amazing. They're super strict about it, which is really good, and it was a pretty safe event. But there was no audience; it was just the other teams were basically the audience, and that was so much fun to get your own separate box for your team, and you're right up in the arena, and so much fun. Awesome. So if they let an audience in, I'll let you know if you want to go out. It's go out there.
That would be awesome.
I don't know how they're gonna limit the audience or how they're gonna deal with the crowd and stuff yet, but
does that mean you're going to be back this next season?
Discovery has not announced anything, so I can't say, but I am still working on Sub-Zero. So
awesome.
What I can say is if you get a chance to go to Orlando Maker Faire in November, we will try to come out there with a robot. If we don't even come out there with Sub-Zero, we'll come out there with something. Nice. Orlando Maker Faire is probably the one to go to if you want to get up close to the BattleBots. A lot of the BattleBot people come to that event.
Nice. And it's warm in November. For me, that's awesome.
Yeah, I know. And, I mean, it's easier to get to. I mean, Florida than fly to LA. We actually drove 24 hours straight to get to LA to get the BattleBots. The filming for BattleBots. So it was because it was in the middle of the pandemic. We weren't going to fly. We had to get all our stuff in the car. It it was a tough. It was definitely a tough trip for sure.
That's awesome. So I know we're like about 40 minutes in already, and we have some HotMakes. You can stick around and check out some HotMakes today.
Sure, of course.
Let's do it.
Let's check out some HotMakes.
Okay.
Right. Well, first thing we got today, of course, has to come from Abby Brown.
Abby's at it again.
Abby's at it again. This is the 4th of July hanging side. She put it on Colts. And, I mean, she's awesome. This stuff is
awesome. That's cool. I like the white. I like the white texture, printed texture. That's really cool.
Yeah,
she was
the stars.
She was tweeting about that in progress, where she was playing with some different infills for that, and I found that interesting. Like where she was talking about the concentric infill versus others, and obviously there's a good amount of print time in all of that. I think she did this one in multiple. Well, obviously she did this one in multiple pieces, but her commitment to her decorations and her signage is fantastic, and I love it. Every chance to celebrate and use 3D printing. There's so many holidays. You keep your printer busy year round, multiple printers year round. I'm sure, Abby.
Right. Oops, I went back too far. There we go. But yeah, awesome stuff, Abby. I love to see it, and it's great to see all the signs you do because, frankly, I couldn't design them. I might have to go look back. I'll be back. No. What do we got next? Let's see. They tagged us and says, hey, I'm not sure if this qualifies as a HotMakes, but it's functional print. Pooch's favorite, functional prints. This is a 16-hour PETG, and it raises a baby bath by 5 centimeters. So there you go. It raises your baby bath up.
100% counts as a hot make, and I think it's fantastic. And I love seeing applications everywhere, right? For your children, for yourself, for entertainment, for signage. Way to go.
That's a pretty clean print too.
Yeah. Really nice on the Ender 3 V2, I believe.
Oh wow.
So, nice work there. On the Ender 3 V2. So nice work there with the PETG, keeping the functional baby bathtub in check there. All right, what do we got next? So, this one, 3D Print Bunny, she has been just rocking it. We might have to have her on the show coming up, but this is here's a finished product, and let's see. Let me click on that one. Sorry about that. There we go.
Ooh.
So check this out when it gets there. Oh yeah.
Whoa! I hadn't seen this before.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Like a Newton's cradle, but
kinda. Yeah.
Pendulum.
They're not whacking into each other in the same way. That's insane. What is it called?
Good. Looks like we're gonna find out hopefully in
a kinetic wave toy.
Kinetic wave.
There you go.
Kinetic wave toy. And is there awesome. A trick? Is there a trick to getting it? I didn't see how she loaded it up to go.
And I don't think she shows that, but I know part of the video. It looks like there was like a stick or something right here. You could see it pull.
Is it like a ripcord of some kind?
Yeah, something. I need more information on this because this is awesome.
I'd like to understand the physics behind that. Who can do that?
Pendulum oscillations. There's like a formula for time depending on the length.
Whoa.
And so I guess you.
Well, I might have to print this.
That's fun to watch.
Nice work, 3D Print Bunny. I know you've been doing some killer stuff out there, and it's definitely a hot make. So we're gonna have to check that out. If anyone has a link, right here, there's a link. Let me just copy that. This deserves a link in the chat. Boom, there you go. Just in case you want to check that out, it looks like it's on proofsofprinters.org. Next, Willow, killing it with all the things. Worked with Blizzard. She can add that to her CV. Check this out. I mean, we saw this when she was with us, right? But I mean,
but we didn't have the context of like it was actually going to show up, in Blizzard, promo material and stuff. And man,
wait, I believe
I can't even tell. Be wrong, but I think these are new pictures. So
Yeah, so she gets professional photography done. A lot of so obviously the blades, Mitch, were printed, and she was showing off some of that work in progress.
No, she made the whole costume. Yeah,
the whole thing, obviously, but she has a myriad of technique for.
I can't even tell that it's not the game.
Yeah, right.
So good, so good.
Like, where did they find that background? Yeah.
She showed the
that's awesome.
How the wings open and everything. It's so good.
Willow
the wings are functional. Or do they have video of that? Or
the wings are functional. They come. They'll fold in and then they reopen. You check out Willow. She has a ton of that stuff on her Twitter, her Instagram. So good. Nice work on that. And she officially can say worked with Blizzard. There you go.
Congrats on that, Willow. That's amazing.
All right. Here's another one from a 3D print bunny. This is let's see. Decided to stick two together and put a spiral thingy inside. So
yep.
She tagged this and I was like, all right, check this out.
So what I love is this the use of all the technical terms here, because I'm the same way.
Yeah.
It's like I got two stick
Spiral
thingies
thingy.
and I put a spiral thingy on the middle, and look at that.
Yeah.
And it creates that illusion of almost like spinning at a different rate.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Very cool. That's fun.
Cool.
That's
Nice
a fun
work
print.
again.
Also on Prusa printers. Maybe not.
Man, everybody has polyalchemy filament. That stuff is pretty popular.
That's like a bridging torture test right there, man. Look at that.
Yeah.
The post said it was printed on a Mark III S.
Beautiful. That's not a trivial span either at the center there. I mean, that's a good.
Yeah, right here. Yeah.
That's a great print.
A lot of cooling.
100%.
Yep. A lot of good cooling for sure.
Nice work. All right, nice work. What do we got? Oh, Lightspeed. All right. So this was printed, ironically, on an Artemis. We were just talking about Artemis earlier.
Yep.
He's got his all tricked out with the slice bearing hot end, and he's got this thing completely decked out. And he says that the filament matte is his new favorite. This is,
wow.
The prints that he posts are amazing. But look at this.
Oh, that's a single.
So
single vase. Yeah. I just switched to a 0.7 millimeter nozzle, and it makes a world of difference. I've never, you could do so much stuff with it. The 0.8 would be amazing.
That looks like one of those full control G code models. No, there was you'll see it. I think it's not. I don't think it made this week's, but there's a new platform that people are showing off these wacky prints where it's a software package where it's just you're literally modeling and generating direct G code with, and it looks very similar to that.
Wow,
I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah, but you get these wacky designs, and what I love about those textures is obviously it conceals a lot of what some might say the layer lines from it. It takes your eye away from it and really lets you focus on the model and what's possible. Right. Not that layer lines are beautiful, right? But it's really interesting to see what you can get with all those various textures.
I love it. I think someone in the chat just said 0.8 makes super strong parts, which is 100% true. And that's one thing I haven't done a lot. I haven't put giant, or I say giant, but bigger nozzles on things. And I think I need to.
Oh, man. You really do.
That a little more.
That's what I'm doing here on the print and see parts.
Okay.
This is a Greengate 3D's, what's it called? Purple Rain. I love this color.
That's such a good color.
And I'm making really strong parts.
Rain.
Yeah.
Well, it's an interesting thing. So we do a lot of printing with bigger nozzles. You can
Purple Rain.
Oftentimes print faster, but there it is. That's the Purple Rain too.
Mm-hmm.
That's beautiful. But
I have issues with moisture though, unfortunately.
Really?
Yeah,
it's a PLA or it's a PET G.
It's a PETG. You just when it first comes out, you're good. Just keep it dry after that.
Yeah.
But it's all recycled. yeah, exactly. We hooked up with them at Murph, and like it's all recycled. But this color, you can't describe it without seeing it.
It's a color shift. Like you can't. Yeah,
it's like blue to purple, like iridescent. It's crazy. Nice, great color.
So, what I was just to finish that line of thought.
Sorry,
I wouldn't say it's a common no big deal. I wouldn't say it's like a common misnomer, but a lot of people when they're like, oh, I want to make a stronger part, they're like, oh, I just got to jack up the infill, and that's actually like a misnomer. Like strength from a part is derived generally from perimeter thickness, so it's a great way to add robustness in a faster way, and especially when you get into printing bigger stuff, you really have to go to a larger nozzle, or it'll just take you forever. But a lot of fun stuff. Obviously, you've seen Filament Frenzy and other people do, really thick extrusion, as art and stuff. So it opens up some cool possibilities, and it makes for some robust parts.
It does. Man, good stuff. I love it. Good stuff. There's one of those hot takes for you where Jim just goes into an "I love it, good stuff" rant. I couldn't add. Once I started talking, I was like, "There's nothing better I could add to that." All right, well,
enough said. Then,
man, I love you, Pooch. This is why we love you, because you throw the good stuff in, and I'm just like, yeah, this is good.
Ditto. There you go. Evan, last bit from Evan. Yes. Obviously, we know him from Cocoa Press. Recently featured on Linus. Very, congrats to Evan and Cocoa Press on that. That's a big deal. And showing this really cool model from out of Marbles. You got to play this, man. Have you seen this, Mitch?
Let's see.
Sorry, I'm on mute. Okay. No, I have not. Oh, yeah, actually during the pandemic, I got into a great ball contraption, a Lego great ball contraption, and this reminds me of that.
Yeah. But fully printed. And I mean, this is a pretty substantial one, and I'm assuming that means those frames as well. I mean, that's a lot of printing and a lot of filament in there, eh?
I would, yeah. No, that's awesome. I would use like PVC tubing or something to save a lot of time, but I mean, even then, it's still awesome.
There has to be some mods to maybe make that a little bit less print heavy, but I love the modular design of it. Where it's like you've got these trays and then you can introduce
can swap them even, and so it's a standard receptacle at the bottom, but you can change the actual ramp part in the middle. And you can see some of them have some additional kind of support structures and stuff, but for the most part it's like each level. So how tall I don't think he says, but Evan, I don't know if he's with us, but we'll have to get a follow-up on this because it's such a fun project, and if you're interested in Out of Marbles, follow them. I don't know, tell us in the chat if you've done any of that, but fun project.
I was just seeing if I could see if he had any info on that, but I know he did respond on here to me and said he wasn't done yet, and he'll tag us when he is finished, but he's going to actually put like a motorized ball return and that kind of stuff right into it. So that is super
so right
cool.
Now he's just manually dumping them in. Yeah, that's interesting. It'd be some interesting possibility to use those tubes as maybe like a pneumatic return or all kinds of interesting, fun possibilities with that.
I'll be curious to see how it goes.
Yeah, my kids have a set that's similar. That's like kind of it's not Lego-esque, but it's you have different pieces that you can put together to create, and obviously gives you some patterns that you can do. But I
remember the Marble Run toys. They were like that.
But those are pricey, man.
They were, and I probably had them as a kid, but and then Connects. Remember Connects? You could do that.
Oh yeah,
yeah. But now you don't even need like interconnecting expensive toys. You can just do it with a $200 printer and make as much film as you can possibly get.
Right.
Well, this gives me a great idea.
As big or as small. Like, it would be really cool to see this scaled up. Like,
for giant marbles.
Yeah.
So they can make a marble machine like that Marble Machine X, but do it with a printer.
Like one that you can put like a Zorb in with humans, and then just like roll them down. because what could go wrong there?
I'm sure that's safe.
I think it would be a heck of a roller coaster, but
it would.
But nice work, Evan.
Right.
I did ask him in the chat, was the next step chocolate? And he said no, it was too hot. So
yeah,
I guess we're not getting a chocolate marble run.
Evan's chocolate printer is pretty awesome.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how the chocolate printers evolve over time. Curmudgeon says, he's got some pieces on Thingiverse for Marble Run. That's good. I'll have to check that out. My son's getting more and more into modeling, and I'm looking for things that are fun, but like a good teaching experience for him. And it would be really neat to say, hey, we've got the Marble Run set, but I want you to make like a loop-de-loop or some, thing where he can actually design and try to iterate in with it and, fail and reiterate and all that stuff. So that'd be fun.
What's the one that Chuck Hellebuck did now?
The stem fee blocks.
Stem fee blocks, yeah. That would be cool to integrate maybe something like that into it.
Yeah, that's another good piece that I could really get him into. He's been just doing finding some Fusion 360 tutorials online, but there's just all kinds of great things where and I think that's really good for kids too, when you can introduce something that's like a learning experience but still like has that fun element involved in it, so it's not just kind of bland. So that, coming up with good curriculum for that is and
you're not starting him on Tinkercad or anything like that. So
he started on Tinkercad. Okay. He's already graduated to Fusion, and he'll surpass me. In no time if he hasn't already.
He's gonna be a full-time mechanical engineer before you know it.
Yeah, and he's not even 12 yet. But I love it because he can take that. I tell him, I'm like, look, man, you develop CAD skills and you can go anywhere with it.
You can build a BattleBot. I mean, that's essentially the only thing stopping teams from building a BattleBot is once you CAD it, then you just figure out how to finance it, and then
it's just money and time, right?
Yeah, money and time. But the CAD modeling, the skills for CAD modeling are a big part of it, and then knowing what parts you need in real life versus what they are virtually. And it's pretty awesome. I
always like advocating for CAD skills with kids because it's great on all different levels, math skills, physics skills, all that stuff. But then at the same time, if they're creative, you can get into organics, you can get into game design, you can get into architecture, you can get, there's anywhere you can take that. Right. And so it's just going to be marketable like you wouldn't believe as a future profession, whatever he decides he wants to do.
For sure. And that stuff's not going away anytime soon. So that's just like IT, CNC, all the operators and stuff. If you can program for the CNC machines, as stuff moves more and more to even robotic, someone still has to program that, right? So
there
you go. So we're about that time. We need to do a giveaway soon. So this is your last chance if you have not entered for the Thangs $50 gift card. There's a link that just went in the chat just a couple minutes ago, or actually a couple seconds ago now. Make sure you get in there and enter so we can give that away soon. Speaking of that, look at the schedule. Do we have a pooch rant today? Another pooch rant? Or was that the mini one?
I got a rant for you, Jim. Let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
Pooch rants.
All right. Lately, I've been listening to a lot of podcasts and more Pandora and stuff. I've been getting away from my personal music collection, which I love and stuff, but obviously the convenience of streaming and letting somebody else DJ for you, or listening to podcasts is compelling. But along with that comes like the new age advertising mechanisms where we're starting to see more and more injection of traditional radio advertising into our streaming platforms. It's not totally new, but it feels like it's becoming more and more the way that radio ads were. So it's like as the medium changes, now we have the advertising platforms kind of catching up in a way where they're injecting ads in a way, oftentimes in the middle of content, or in a way that it's harder for technology to kind of skip over the way we've kind of gotten used to. I don't know if you guys remember like the VCRs that first were able to like commercial skip and stuff like that. So it's always a cat and mouse game between advertisers and content creators to, get that ad revenue in, but then not bore people with advertisements. But that's not my rant. My rant is on the ad content side. The fact that we still have the unintelligible rapid speak at the end of an ad, for a car thing, like only 700 apply, and nobody can understand. You remember the Micro Machines guy, that made his living off of that? And I'm like, what is the point of having legalese in the thing if you can't even make it out? Because they're just digitally speeding it all up now. It used to be you had to have Micro Machines guy that could talk really fast, and now I swear they're just speeding it up. Whose job is it to determine can people even understand and hear that? Is that providing value? I don't think it's providing value. It's wasting my time, and it's an ear sore. Knock it off.
Oh, that is good. That is 100% true. And someone in the chat while you were talking said, yeah, it's like the small print and ads. No one reads
It's
that.
stupid.
No one reads it. I mean, you can equate. You can
Equivocate?
equate. Holy moly.
Equate is better, yeah.
The small print to that, to the end of those ads. And it's on car. You hear it on car. You hear it on
Especially on car ads, right?
Yeah. I know it's a legal thing. People are pointing out it's a legal thing you have to do. But if you can't understand it, what's the point? I mean,
well, exactly. And so I said, just because last week my rant, Mitch, was about how they're trying to make seats smaller and smaller on airplanes and stuff like that. And I'm like, just because you can speed it up and get it in there, because they have to pay for the time slot, but they need that legalese. So obviously it has to be the shortest amount possible, but it doesn't do anybody any good if you can't hear it. So, somebody needs to be policing the practicality of these things. Just because you can does not mean you should.
It's like all the commercials are directed by Christopher Nolan. You just can't hear the dialogue.
Explosion!
Yeah.
Action!
I love it.
Yeah, exactly. That theme right there.
Yeah.
But
so
I just ads in general. That's why I just pay for YouTube Premium or ad block. But
but you need them. Well, so that brings up an interesting thing, and we don't want to go too far into it. But it's again, it's that cat and mouse thing, and to me, I'm willing to endure a couple ads because I don't want to pay more, but other people aren't. I mean, this is our pay-to-play world we live in, so it's nice to have the option. And it's silly because I rant, but the truth is I'm not going to pay for premium because I don't want to hear it at all. So that's the worst of my problems. I'm doing okay.
But now that we have ads that you can click on, you should just be able to click on it, and then there should just be a whole page that's easily readable. At least
here for your legal.
Good idea. Yeah. If anyone in the world in the history of ads would ever click on this, what it says. So I wonder what would happen is if you were watching something and that happened and you had your closed captioning on. Does it show everything that just happened?
Sometimes it
the stenographer lady just keeled over and died. Yeah, that. There's really a person doing that anymore.
Yeah, that's so good. I love it. Well, hey, it's time for a giveaway. Let me just double check the spreadsheet, make sure I didn't miss anybody. All right, we have 66 people entered.
Wow.
And ready for a giveaway. Who wants $50 gift card to Amazon? Thank you to Thangs.
Can you give Mitch the rundown on rolling?
All right, Mitch, here's what you do. I just whacked my mic stand and hurt my hand terribly. I'm going to have to go to the ER after this. But I'm okay. I'm going to work through it. Mitch, here's the deal. As our guest, you have the honor of spinning the wheel, okay? But this is not just any wheel to spin. Your tendency is you're going to want to reach in, you want to go down. That's wrong. You got to go up. So it's probably going to be your left hand. Okay, you reach into the screen, and on that count of 3, you're going to just do a upward flip like that. Okay.
Okay.
It's a very important job that you have, but get with some vigor because it'll spin. Okay. So Jim's going to give you a 3 count, and then we're going to go. All right. Are you ready?
Okay.
I'm ready.
Get your hand in there on the wheel. Get in on the wheel. There you go. Lean in. There it is.
Whoa.
All right.
He's
Too far.
I don't know what that long. There we go. Okay.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Nicely done. Nicely done. Pro level spinning. First try. Who's our winner today? We got Dusty Rhodes. He's Dusty.
Dusty Rhodes, are you with us? You guys say something in the chat to let us know you're here.
It's a major award.
It's a major
Make
award.
yourself known. It is a major award. It's $50 to Amazon anywhere that Amazon is, which is everywhere. Thanks to Thangs.
I go, hey, there you go.
Awesome.
Golf
We
clap.
did it, Mom.
Golf clap for you, Dusty.
Nice job.
Get yourself a feather duster. You won't
Your
be so
mama.
dusty.
You going to Disneyland? Yeah.
Yeah.
Disney World.
He looks like Dusty won his mom $50. So there you go.
Oh.
We'll get that. I'll probably end up doing it either later tonight or tomorrow. So watch for an email. I'll shoot you an email after the show. But awesome show, Mitch. Thank you so much. Before we go, though, tell us where we can find you and all of the things if they want to find Mitch.
I am Mitch 3D on YouTube, the Mitch 22 on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Probably
what's
some
the
other
22,
site.
Mitch?
Oh, so 22 was something back when like AIM and Yahoo and ICQ. It was one of those like randomly generated things that I came up with, like because I had to have a unique name, so I stuck with that number, and then I wanted a shorter username, so it was just Mitch or the Mitch because there's more than one Mitch, and then 22 on top of that. So, but like Mitch 3D is kind of more brand, just so that it's easier to go to. So if you go to Mitch3D.com, I have a link tree that goes to all my social media stuff. But
nice.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I had a lot of fun tonight.
Yeah, amen. I think we should have Mitch on again. We need like a full hour of BattleBots.
Just BattleBots. Yeah, sure.
Just maybe we could even have like you could get with the team. We could have have it in front of you.
Yeah.
So we can actually,
I could probably
that would be awesome.
I could bring the rest of my team on. We'll see who's available.
That'd
At least
fun,
Logan, Bryan, maybe Chris and Brady. Yeah, we'll see who's available.
Well, good.
Love it.
And we look forward to hearing more about when your Print NC is going. In fact, there was a question in the chat we missed earlier. When do you expect first cuts to be on the Print NC?
Yeah, so that's actually projects by Brian. You should subscribe to his channel because he actually has a working Print NC.
Nice.
And he has really comprehensive videos on it too. So, I'm. It's really slow because I don't want to like drill and tap in my apartment to like get steel. Steel shavings are really bad. So I've been actually just marking it here and taking it to the makerspace, doing all the drilling and tapping there because they have they have a Bridgeport mill I can just drill on. It's real easy.
Sure.
But once I get all the drilling and tapping done, and then do the final assembly, then I'm going to build the enclosure. The electronics are all going to go, and I have this giant electronics enclosure back there, and so I got to do all the wiring, which means it's real tedious stuff. So, yeah, no, I know that's how I kind of found him. And then Joe Spanier, from Makers on Tap, he was also one of the ones that I think got me into like my own DIY CNC thing. So,
fantastic.
check his stuff out.
We saw him in the new milk crate CNC at Murph.
So
spoiler alert. Yeah, spoiler alert, there'll be a video this week on the milk crate CNC.
That'd be awesome. Yeah. No, I've been following his milk crate CNC. But like basically the Print NC for the price of like a Shapeoko XL Pro, you can build a Print NC and it's like way more rigid and capable. But it's a lot more hands-on. Like it's not like a kit. So
it's not plug and play.
That's kind of my comparison is like it's like there's still a large leap before you get to a Tormach mill,
right.
But like this is like the step. Sure. This is a step before you'd go to a Tormach in terms of milling machines. So it's pretty neat.
And
I'm gonna have to check it out. And it looks like it's called Projects by Brian.
Projects.
Brian's with us right now.
Yep.
So yeah, there's that, and then I just thank you so much in the background, Geary. I really appreciate that. So Geary reminded me to let you guys know that this is the last week. We have counting today 7 days left in the Filament 3D print contest. If you have not joined the Filament 3D print contest, all you have to do is print a vase, take a picture, tag us on the socials. It is super easy and it's free to enter. If you want to print with filament, you can actually win a little more of their prize money. But it doesn't matter. You can print anything, and I'm one of the guest judges, or I am the guest judge this month. I just threw the link in the description right there, but I got to tell you that down to 7 days. Next Monday is the last day that you can submit. So we have a lot of great submissions, but it's free. Everybody should do this. Grab your printer, grab a vase. Maybe you already have a vase you want to submit. Yeah, do it. And
it's fast.
We have some, I know some people out there are still working. They're actually signed vases, and they're printing them as we talk. They keep sending me stuff, little updates on Twitter and stuff, which is really cool. I appreciate that. But I have to mention that real quick at the end of the show. If you haven't printed a vase and entered that contest, do it. Mitch, you got to do it.
I'm already having ideas. I just have to. I don't know.
Just
I don't print vases that often, actually.
Well, you know what? Throw one on that little backpack printer of yours.
Yeah.
It'd probably be an Artemis because I have more room. But yeah,
there you go.
Right. I did one on the row stock, and I featured it. I think today I tweeted about it, and it failed gloriously. I don't know where.
I saw your tweet earlier. It got a little hairy at the top.
Full size print, so it was almost there, almost as tall as
you hate to see it.
And
cool,
then,
90+%. Huh.
No.
And something I wasn't in here, but I think I can tell you something happened like right in this.
That overhang just start to get pretty aggressive right there. Is that what
there is no overhang now? So
no, I mean like it starts to taper outward, like the taper starts to get
it goes like this.
Out there. Yeah.
It could have flexed enough that it
and you got that height now. So
that's what I'm wondering. And I was doing it on the row stock, so I wondered if it just flexed a little bit in here. All I know is I actually like this a lot. It actually
it's like a vase that has flowers built into it. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
There you go.
Or chia vase. I don't know, something.
Chia vase.
But yeah, get a vase, enter. It's free, so let's see it. Anything else, Pooch, before we go?
No, I just wanted to. I saw Builder's Mark his comment. I thought that was an interesting thing that a 3D printed BattleBots would make for a really fun Murph style event. I know we've had the printed racers and stuff in the past. I don't know how you would qualify because obviously you need non-printed parts, but that would make for a really interesting battle. Plastic shards flying everywhere.
There is a league called the Plastic Antweight League.
Is there really?
At Earth 2019, there was a group from, I forgot where it was from, but they had plastic antweights in a little arena. So it's actually a pretty common thing now, but it's all in the 1 pound weight class. So it's a little easier. It's more accessible and easier to build. But once you scale that up, I don't think you want a 250 pound plastic robot. It's just going to turn into mush.
but like you said, I think it's good to get more people into the space, right? So it's a good gateway BattleBot.
Yeah, look up plastic antweight events. There's a lot of
plastic antweight if you're interested in that, guys.
Yep.
Yeah, let's see. BattleBot. Is it all one word, right? BattleBot?
Yeah. It's probably under combat robot because BattleBot's the trademark. So if you look up combat robots or plastic antweight combat robots, there's probably a couple events. The one
overly aggressive combat robot.
Yeah. The ones we have in local in Texas are usually just they can be metal as well, and that's just the standard antweight, beetle weight class. But yeah.
Well, I tell you what, if you go to Thangs and type in combat robot, there's a whole bunch of stuff.
Oh, I'm sure there is. Yeah.
So check that out. All right, everybody, we got to get flying. We are late. Mitch, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate the information and the insight. And man, I'm super pumped to go back and watch the season that I missed of BattleBots now because I have skin in the game. I have someone to root for, even though the season's over. So there's that.
Yep.
Awesome, Mitch. It was awesome hanging with you, buddy.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll catch up with you again soon.
Sure.
Yep. Hang out. Mitch, stay right there. We'll be right back with you. Everybody else, have a great night. Have a great week. We'll see you next week on HotMakes. See you later, everybody.
All right.